You just enter your image URL from the Google Drive, select the aspect ratio that you want, click on execute workflow, and the system will give you back full VFX AI ad images, just like these ones. I just built this automation that creates unlimited AI ad images on autopilot. If you're new here, my name is Ken. I'm a software engineer and AI developer. I've made over 6 figures trading crypto before taking on AI, and now I make automations that cut work, boost sales, and scale businesses. I share everything I've learned in this video so you can also do the same. Let's go over a quick overview of how everything works out. We got the input field right here, where we get information from our Google Sheet, which looks like this. We enter an image URL right here and we take it from Google Drive. Then we enter the number of images we want from that image product. We then choose the size of the image that will be generated. We have these aspect ratios. Then we have a status right here, which the automation uses to get oriented with how the process are going. And in the end, the automation does two things. It uploads the image into our Google Drive, just like so, and it also gives us the URL for that image. I'll explain later how everything works out in detail. After the system gets your information from the Google Sheet, then it analyzes the image that you have inserted in the Google Sheet. This way, the prompts and the image that will be created will be very accurate. After we analyze the image, then we move on to the agent, which creates prompts for these images. These prompts are optimized to create a super realistic VFX image for your product. Then we move on to the creation of these images by using key.ai API and making sure everything is processed correctly before moving on. And in the end, we download the images and upload them to our Google Drive folder. And immediately after that, we update the status sheet with the finished status and the URL in the finished images right here. Let's take a look first at the product image that we provided, and then let's have a look at how it turned out. This was the image we provided, basically a Monster Energy can which we were holding in our hand. And after the system does its magic, it turns out like this. Super professional with 8K quality, studio lighting, VFX images with the ice cube in the back representing how cold this drink is, just as if you gave it to a studio to make this for you. And that's the complete automation system. But before we begin, I wanted to remind you that you can find this whole workflow ready for you, along with this Google Sheet template already done for you. You can find them inside my community, the AI Syndicate. I share weekly lessons and automations in here, so you can start learning and setting this automation up for yourself, your business, or your brand. Learning these skills now will prove very useful for you in the future, as AI agent and AI automation demands are rising very fast. If you have some time, please use some of it today so you too can master this increasingly important AI skill. Let's get started. To start this automation, you have to go to this page called n8n.io. Once you're here, you have to click on Get Started if you don't have an account, otherwise click on Sign In. Once you're inside, click on this Create Workflow right here, and this screen should pop up. n8n is the software where we create agents and connect them with different APIs, MCPs, regs. This way we can automate many different tasks. Let's start by adding our first node. Click on the plus icon and search for Trigger manually. You should have it on the top right here. This creates a button for this workflow so we can execute everything. Now we click on the plus icon next to it and search for Google Sheets. Click on it, go to Get Row in Sheet. Now we have to connect our Google Sheets credentials. If you haven't already, click on Create New Credential and just sign in with your Google account. After you do that, just click on Save. It's super easy. I've already connected my Google, so I'm gonna use that. For the resource, click on Sheet Within Document. For the operation, click on Get Rows. Now for the document, you have to have this kind of document. Now for the document, you have to have an exact document just like this one. Please screenshot this so you can send to ChatGPT and get all the values so you can create this for yourself. Or if you're inside my community, just go to the classroom section. I would put a lesson in here with the Google Sheet ready for you. On the document, we click on the VFX Image Generator. That's the name of the Google Sheet file. And from the sheet, we choose the first sheet, which I have named VFX Generator. Now we have to add some filter. Click on Add Filter. And for the column, click on Status and enter Waiting for Processing. Once you do that, go to the bottom, click on Add Option, and search for return only first matching row and toggle this on. What this will do is get the data of only the first row that matches this status waiting for processing and not all the rows. As you can see, we have like 20 rows right here, but it gets only the first row matching that status. Now before executing this, we have to fill this information up with our image that we want to create. For this image URLs, we have to get this link from our Google Drive image. Upload an image of your product that you want to make the ad for, just like so. Click on these three dots, click on share, again on share. As we see here, we have a general access to restricted. We have to make this anyone with the link. This way this automation can use this image. Click on copy link and now we paste it inside the Google Sheet on image URLs. All we have to do now is enter the number of images, let's say 3 different ad images we want to create. For the size, I left the default to 2:3 aspect ratio, but you can change it to this ones too. And that's it. Use this Google Sheet as a mini software where you enter a couple of your information and the system will do everything else. Once you completed that, you execute this step. If you see this information right here show up, it means you have done a great job. Let's continue with the next step. Now we have to connect this node to another node that updates the status of the sheet. So this automation knows what is being processed and what is not. Click on this plus icon and search again for Google Sheet. But this time we go to update a row in sheet. Click on the credentials you connected on the previous node. For the resource, sheet within document. For the operation, update a row. The document, select this Google Sheet we had, again the current sheet. Now on the column to match on, click on it and search for row number. On this row number, as you can see, it's 0 right now. What we do is we go to this row number on the left, which we got the information from the previous node, and drag and drop it inside here. Now this node will match the row number which we had this information and make the following changes. The changes we want to make is from the status. We enter right here, processing. This just identifies the current row so the system knows which we are working on and we can update it later on. And execute step. Now we see that the status is updated to processing, and if you go back, we see this changing from waiting for processing to processing. If that is also the case on your sheet, then you have done a great job. Let's move on. Click on the plus icon right next to it and search for OpenAI. On the OpenAI, click for the Analyze Image action. This node will analyze the image we provided in incredible detail, so when we create the VFX ad for it, it matches the product as best as possible. Now once we're in, go to credentials to connect with and create a new credential if you don't have OpenAI credentials already. To get this API key, you just have to go to platform.openai.com and create an account there. After you do, go to the settings tab right here and click on API keys on the left. Just go to create a new secret key and the API key will be created. Now copy that key and paste it inside of here. Inside the API key and click on save. But once you do that, please fill the account up with some credits. $5 will be more than enough. Now I just fill this information really quick so we don't have to do it manually because it has some code, but we will go over it so you can screenshot this and paste it into ChatGPT to get the information. Now from the model, click on ChatGPT 4.0 latest. Select this one. This is the best model for this task. On the task output, this is the input we provide. Please screenshot this or copy this to your node. Once you do that, go to input type and search for image URLs, not binary files. And for the URLs, you have to put this exact same code because we need this specific kind of format as per documentation. I have created this JSON code right here so it makes this possible. Just take a screenshot of this and paste it to ChatGPT to give you the text back. Just click on execute step. After that is finished, we got the full description of our image. Let's move on to the next one. This is the prompt generation section. This is where we connect the AI agent to create our prompts for us. Click on the plus icon and search for AI agent. Inside, click on define below for the source for prompt. And for the prompt, go inside here and I'll paste my main workflow prompt. Please screenshot this so you can provide to ChatGPT on another language model that you use, so you can get the text back. Once you do, this is the prompt we are using. Your task is to create the image prompt as guided by your system guidelines. Make sure that the reference image is depicted as accurately as possible in the resulting images, especially all text. Then I have created this optimized prompt right here, so that the image that comes out is super professional, studio quality, and it matches the product that is depicting. Then we have used JSON code, so we get the description of the product from our previous node with ChatGPT. To do this manually, just go to the previous node, analyze image, and get this content. Just drag and drop it inside the code. I'll remove it since I already have it. For the count of scenes to create, we get this information from the Google Sheet we got previously. On the get row in sheet. We got the size here from our Google Sheet, just drag and drop this size right here. It will put the same output. And we say in the end, use the think tool to double check your output. I'll explain this very soon. And that's it for the prompt. We go to the bottom right now, to the add option, and click on system message. Let's maximize this. And inside, I will paste my main node's description. As you can see, it's a bit long, and I'll hover it for you so you can screenshot this whole message. Now what we have done here is give this agent its role in life. Basically, we have given him a set of instructions of what the output will be and how it must perform to create the output. We have a system prompt right here, professional VFX product image prompt generator. API safe JSON. I have put some optimized words right here so the agent doesn't make mistakes. The output must be in JSON and must follow exactly this structure, and I have provided this code right here. Then we have some style guidance and how the output should be with rules and stuff. You can go over this yourself and study how it works, but long story short, this just gives the agent the instruction on how to create these prompts. After we've given the system message, we click on the require specific output format. We toggle this on, and now we have this output parser right here. But before we go to that, let's click on the chat model first and search for OpenAI. Here we just connect the credentials we previously connected on the Analyze Image node. And for the model, just choose ChatGPT 4.1 mini, as it will do the job very good and it will be very cheap. Go back and go to the agent again and click on memory. Click on simple memory. For the session ID, go to define below. For the key, we have to enter a 4 random number key. Let's say this. And for the context window, let's say 30. What this will do now is create a simple memory for the agent with a context window length of 30, so the last 30 messages the agent remembers and doesn't create the same prompts over and over again. So every prompt image it creates, it should be different from each other. This way we have that uniqueness on every image prompt. Go again to the agent, click on tool now and search for think tool, this one right here. And don't change anything inside of it. What this does is that it will make the agent think twice before giving us the output, basically making it smarter. Go again in the agent and click on output parser right now. And click on structured output parser. For the schema type, click on define using JSON schema, click on expression and open this up and paste this exact same JSON code right here. This will make sure that the output that the agent gives us, it will be in the same exact format. Click out of that and toggle autofix format on. By turning this on, it will double check the output format that the agent gives us and make sure it is the exact same one we provided right here. Click away from that. And now we see this model popping up on the bottom of this parser right here. You just drag and drop it into the model we have previously with the agent. This way we have the same model connected to the agent and the parser. That's all for the prompt generation. Now we execute this AI agent. Now once that's done, it will create 3 prompts for us as per the information we have given in Google Sheets right here, but these 3 prompts are recognized as only one because we haven't split them to different variables. To do that, we go to the plus icon right here and search for split out. What this will do is split each prompt into an individual variable, as now it's only one variable for these 3 prompts. To do this splitting, go to this left input right here and just drag and drop this scenes variable right here inside the fields to split out. If you see output.scenes, it then means you have done it correctly. Click on execute step now. Now we have 3 items right here, as we can see. These 3 items each have an image prompt and an aspect ratio for itself. This is done so when we create these images, we have to separate them in 3 different processes. Also, we can see here when we get the information from the AI agent to split out, we get only one item, one variable. And when we split them out, we now get 3 variables. This is exactly what we want. Now we will create the image creation node. Click on the plus icon and search for HTTP request. Now this is how we will fill this information up. Go to a new Google tab and search for docs.key.ai. Then go to 4.0 Image API on the top right here. Click on image editing, and now we will see this CURL on the right here. Click on copy. Go again to n8n and click on import CURL and paste this code right here. What this will do is fill this whole node up with the necessary API calls. Now if you go down a bit, you'll see these send headers toggled on, and we see this value bearer and token right here. What this is that you have to enter your own API key inside of here. To do that, go to key.ai once again and create an account here. After you do that, click on your icon and go to dashboard. Go to billing on the left and fill the account up with $5 to $10. It will be more than enough for this because a single image will cost us only 3 cents. So it's super cheap. After you do that, go to the API key on the left again and create a new API key right here. Copy your key and paste it inside of here. Remove this token and paste your API key. This was the manual way to do this, but we have another way where we connect these credentials and never enter them again. To do that, just toggle off the headers, click on authentication, search for generic credential type, then you search for header authentication, and for the header authentication, click on create new credential. Now please copy me letter by letter, as this should be the exact same one. Here enter authorization with a capital A, and for the value go to expression right here, remove this, enter bearer with a capital B, and now you just paste your API key. It should be this exact same format, bearer and then space and then your API key. After you do that, you just click on save and your credential will be saved every time you do this. I've already connected mine, so we'll move on. Scroll down on the send body where we have JSON and using JSON, maximize this. Inside of this you have to paste this exact same expression. Screenshot this so you can paste to ChatGPT and get this text back, because we have to make sure these codes are exactly the same, as this will not work otherwise. Now this is a JSON format which should be exactly like this per key.ai documentation. For the file's URL you have to provide this exact same code, because otherwise it would not work. This just gets the image we provided and makes sure the n8n reads it. Then we have a prompt which we say take the product in the image and place it in this scenario. And the scenario will be the prompt we got from the AI agent previously. To do this yourself, just open the AI agent node on this left and just drag and drop this image prompt right here, in the same place I've done already. For the size, we get this information from the previous node where we got the rows in the sheet. You can also do this by clicking on it and getting this size to drag and drop it inside the code. Just like so, it will do the same output, and the number of variants you just leave it at 1 always. We click out of this, make sure this information is correct, and then you execute this step. As you can see, we have 3 items right here with the code 200. The code 200 means it was a success. The process is now starting. Now this will take about 2 to 3 minutes to make all 3 images, but in meanwhile we go to this plus icon right here and search for wait node, wait right here. On resume, click on after time interval, and the waiting amount just enter 120, basically like 2 minutes. It will be more than enough, and just execute this step. While that is being done, let's do this other node. Click on the plus icon, search for HTTP request again, and we have to import another CURL. Go again to the documentations page, the place where we previously got this CURL, but this time when we see on the left, click on the get 4.0 image details and copy this URL now. Go again on n8n and import this right here. What we have to do now is again enter our API right here, or as I will do this other way, I just toggle this off and enter the authentication I previously have entered. So I don't have to enter my API every time. I just save it into one credentials and I'm okay. After you connect your credentials, toggle this send query parameters on. Now for the name, we enter task ID. make sure the I is a capital. So everything is not capital, but the I remains on capital letter. For the value, we get this text ID from the waiting node. We just drag and drop it inside of here. If you see this green, it means it has worked. Now we just click on execute step. Once we execute this, we see the information, but we see that the status is still generating. That's why I've created this other fail-proof system, which I'll explain right now. Click out of this, click on the plus icon again, and search for if node. Once we open this up, we have to enter these two values. Go to the previous node input right here, and just drag and drop this success flag, and put it inside here. What this will do is compare the status flag value to this other value I'll enter right now, which I'll enter is 1. And please change this is equal to a number, because it was a string and it doesn't work that way. Go to number and go to is equal to. This makes sure that the success flag is equal to 1 before continuing. If it is 1, it means the images are generated and we can move on to the next node. Once you do that, click on execute step right here and go out of this node. Now if you see here, we have a plus icon right here connected to this false right here. Just drag and drop it and put it behind the waiting node. What this does is that if the status flag was not successful, it was 0 for example, it was not 1, then we go again to the waiting node and do this process again. This is done because if it takes more than 120 seconds we previously entered, we don't have to stop our automation or get an error, we just go back and execute these steps again. This way everything becomes an autopilot and you don't have to touch anything. I'll execute this waiting node once again, just in case the images are not done yet. Once that is finished, I go to this plus icon right next to if node and search for again another HTTP request node. We do this because we have the images created now, but we have to download them inside the n8n workflow. Go on the URL right here and paste this exact same code. You also can do this yourself, just remove this and just drag and drop this right here, result URL in 0 brackets. We get this from the if node by the way, and execute this step. As we can see, we have 3 different files ready to download and upload to our Google Drive. Get out of this, click on the plus icon and search for Google Drive right now. And go to upload file. Once we are inside of this, for the credentials, click on new credential and you have to get this information inside your Google account. Just ask the assistant for the setup instructions, it will take like 1 or 2 minutes to do this. I've already done mine, so let's move on. For the resource, click on File, Operation Upload, Input Data Field Name. Make sure this is data every time, don't change this name. Just put in data. Now, I would recommend going to your Drive account and creating a new folder specifically for these images. Name it like VFX Generator or VFX AI Generator, whatever you want. Now, for the file name right here, let's go back to schema and just drag and drop this task ID from the HTTP request we got previously. What this will do is name each file differently every time, so we don't have a clash of names. From the parent drive, click on My Drive right here. For the parent folder, now select the folder you just created for this exact thing. I have already created mine and I've named it VFX AI Ad Generator. Now everything that will be uploaded inside this folder, and this way we are more organized. And just execute the step. Once you do that, you can now go to your Google account and see these images already created for you inside of here. Before we check that out, let's remind that I gave this image URL of this chocolate bar right here. This one, which I just snapped a photo of it in my phone. Let's see the results now. These are the 3 images that got created, let's see them. Wow, have a look at that. This is better than studio quality. I don't think anyone would charge you less than $100 to do this for you. Let's go to this other one. Oh my god, look at this. The chocolate opened up with a pistachio inside. How realistic does that look? And look at the text, guys. It is perfect. No difference between the image we provided to this one. That's how good these AIs are becoming. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, in this third one we got a bit of an error, I suppose. But this also happens because AI is not perfect yet and the cost of damage was only 3 cents, so you can definitely afford errors. But for just 6 cents we got this full VFX studio quality images, which for sure will take us more than a couple $100 to make and pay other people to do. I'm telling you guys, if you are not learning these skills right now, somebody else will do before you and will definitely take you out of business or take your job. That's why I strongly advise you learning these skills right now, so you still become relevant in the future future and increase your output tenfold. As you can see, we generated these images on autopilot with minimal expense in a record time. You can sell these services to other businesses or brands if you don't have one already. Making full VFX ad images for these companies or brands has never been cheaper, and with just a click of a button. Let's go back to our n8n now and let's do the last node right here. Search for Google Sheet and search for update row in sheet. Connect your Google Sheet credentials. For resource sheet within document, update row. For document, select VFX generator, then VFX generator again. For the column to match on, click on the row number right here. Go to the input section on the left, to the get rows in the sheet which is our second node. We just drag and drop this row number right here. Go to status right now and update this to finished. This will update the status now from processing to finished. For the finished images, just go to the HTTP request, which was the one behind the upload file, and just drag and drop this results URL with 0 in brackets. Now, once we execute this step, we will see the links of the images inside the Google Sheet, and also the status will be updated to finished. Let's do it right now and check out our Google Sheet. As we can see, the status is finished. For the finished images, it just gives the last image that it was created, but you can check this inside the Google Drive, it's not a problem. And that was the whole workflow. As you can see, it was kind of a long one because we had to do many different API calls, but we still have to click on execute workflow every time we want to do another image that we provide in this Google Sheet. If you are still watching this video, I will now give you a trick that will make your workflow work on autopilot without you even clicking on execute workflow. Go into your n8n workflow, where we see when clicking execute workflow, remove this trigger right here, click on the plus icon and search for on a schedule and click on it. On the trigger interval, enter minutes, and for the minutes between triggers, enter 5 and come out of this node. Now what you do, we drag and drop this node to behind of the get rows in sheet node. What this does now, will execute the workflow every 5 minutes, and with the configurations we have done, it will go on each row one by one and complete the images you provided on autopilot. Now to turn this on, you just click on this toggle right here on the top where it says inactive, and now the workflow is active and it will execute every 5 minutes. Now while that is being done, you can just go and do another job you have, or just drink a cup of coffee in meantime while the system does all your job on autopilot. You can find this whole template inside my community, the AI Syndicate, where I will be uploading it inside the classroom section, along with that with the Google Sheet template, which you don't have to do again manually from the beginning, but just input your information like image URL, number of images and the size, and the automation will take care of everything else. I'll leave the link for my community below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as these videos take a long time to make and we really appreciate your support. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.